Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the Game on Cancer panel and in the Wombat Theatre, and thanks again to GenerOZity, an incredible community, for giving us a chance to share our story and tell you a bit more about our charity and our cause and what we do at Cure Cancer and everything under Game on Cancer. I have an awesome panel here today, and we're looking forward to sharing more about what we're all about, and also giving you guys the opportunity to ask some questions as well. We'll do some quick intros as well. My name's Shane Bailey. I work at Cure Cancer as head of gaming and streaming. Very weird title to have at a cancer charity, I know. I feel very lucky. I lead everything under Game on Cancer for Cure Cancer. I started a year ago, and before that I worked in the video game industry at Ubisoft Australia for almost 6 years in different marketing and communications roles. So I am very familiar with PAX. I've been to every single one of PAX Australia's, and it's an absolute delight to be back here. I might go to the end actually, and I'll get Connor, my colleague, to introduce himself, and we'll come back this way.
Awesome. Hi guys, I'm Connor Nolan. I'm also from Cure Cancer. I'm our digital and analytics manager, and I've been with the charity for over 6 years now. At the start of our gaming journey, me and another colleague helped kick it off and get us in the streaming space, and it's amazing to me to sit here today and think that we're on panels at PAX raising money for cancer research, which is just amazing. And a big thank you to all the GenerOZity crew who are in the building or watching online. It's just awesome to have this opportunity, and thank you guys for all the amazing fundraising that you're doing. Pass it over.
Hi, I'm Ash. I'm a content creator, and I'm working with GenerOZity. We're helping raise money with Cure Cancer Australia, and it's just really important to us. I'm Buzz's partner, and he'll pass on and explain everything that we've sort of been through, and we're just so happy to be a part of this, to raise money and help people out that need it.
I'm Buzz. I'm same part of GenerOz. We got involved after we met some of the PAX crew and GenerOz crew at Fortress one night, and I'm a cancer survivor myself. I went through leukemia, got diagnosed in 2020. These guys didn't really know, but I was behind the scenes and taking a lot from them. They did a lot for me, and lots of giveaways and content and stuff that I kept busy with in hospital, and lots of streams that I saw of GenerOz, and met these guys, which was pretty cool. Knowing what they stand for and what they do is awesome. So I wanted to get involved with Ash and expand who we know and what we can do to help others. I'm finishing my treatment next week, which is huge. So from here on out, I really want to get involved and sort of help my story, help other people. I went through a lot with my treatment. For me, it was a 2-year blur of just what happened. Big story that I want to push around and help other people with, and I'm a part of a trial. First person globally to be put on the trial that I was put on, and sort of taking that risk early on and seeing what these guys do and the researchers behind them and my trials team research behind me. I'd really just love to extend that help towards other people, my story and how I dealt with it, and the mental side of it, physical side of it, where it goes, where you can be, anything that can help. I guess a lot of people get lost in their head during their treatment. It's a very dark and gloomy sort of time. Pretty hard to stay positive, but with these guys around GenerOz and all the charities that do so much amazing work, it's very helpful. So I really want to extend that and continue being a part of this family and grow the support, I guess.
Yeah, that's amazing, Buzz. Thanks for sharing that. I do want to stick with you and just ask just more about like the trial treatment, but can you just go a bit more into your experience of first being diagnosed and what was that was like?
Yeah, so I was a workaholic. Before COVID hit, I got my first job straight out of high school. I was working in a metal factory, casting molten metal, pretty dirty work, like 6 days a week, 14-hour shifts, just all I knew was work. Then COVID hit, knuckled down even more, like there was no time to do anything else but work. So it was work, training, just became fitness buff and put all my time and effort into work and getting fit. And then I came around to September 2020. I was very lethargic, was getting really bad migraines, really bad headaches, and I just thought, I'm just overworked myself. So we had a week shut down for work. I took long service leave after that. I just got given manager at the age of 18, which was nuts because I was obviously just worked to something that I'm working up the ranks, and I thought was pretty good, but just in my head, young workaholic, just pushing too much. So I thought I was overworked, ended up going to get some blood tests done that day. The doctor came back and said, oh, it looks like you've either got glandular fever, because I've never had it before, and then they hit me with it, or it could be cancer. I was sitting in the hospital alone, because COVID, you couldn't have any family in with you, you couldn't have people sitting with you. The doctor just came and sat beside me and said, it's going to be rough, would you like someone on the phone? I thought, oh, well, just hit me with it, I can call mum and dad, whatever it's going to be. And they said, it's looking like that afternoon, and they'll get rushed down to Peter MacCallum Cancer Centre, Royal Melbourne Hospital. And yeah, it was pretty heavy treatment from there on out for a solid few months in hospital. Got put onto the ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, was a trial patient for them, first person on the trial, and they were pretty keen that at the start of it, it was very rough, just basic treatment at the start for what every leukemia patient has, and then they said as soon as that first dose is done, they'll pump me with the mix of different heavy drugs. I was on sort of 3 courses every alternating month of different chemos and different dosages and amounts and different styles. There was months I had the blinatumomab bag, which was a constant cycle of chemo, weeks in and out of hospital with like methotrexate, the big dosage drugs, and sort of in and out of hospital. I got the really amazing opportunity through the Leukemia Foundation. I got to stay right across from Peter Mac in the apartment, so I was very close for treatment, didn't have to travel. I'm originally from Bendigo, so it was 2-hour travel if I was going to go home. But they were, yeah, very fortunate of what I was given for accommodation-wise. So I was sort of in Melbourne for the whole treatment really, and got to go home early 2021. It was sort of midway through 2021 that I got to actually move back home and start a normal reality again, I guess, start getting back into life and getting out and going for walks and taking the dogs for a walk, getting back into gym. But I was, during that time, I'm still on my maintenance phase, which was just oral chemo, just tablets, and now, yeah, next week finishing that, and one more bone marrow biopsy, and I'm sort of out of it. Yearly checkups, sort of get back to the normal life, I guess, now, yeah.
It's a bit surreal.
Yeah, it hasn't hit yet, but I'd say next week when I'm actually away from the medication, it'll be a big weight off the shoulders, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
I think, myself and many others can only imagine what that's like for you, like going back. That's been your reality for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
but for you, Ash, like what has that journey been like, supporting your partner through this?
So we met when he came out of hospital early 2021, and we actually met on video games. We were playing GTA, so it was quite a funny way of meeting. And we moved in together at the end of 2021, and I think you don't realize how different of a life that we lead, because for us it's just so normal. So it's, oh, hey, have you had your drugs? Have you had your medication tonight? And, we make jokes, and it's just sort of, that's the way it is. And for him, it's, headaches every so often, migraines. We go for walks, and sort of the end of the day is a ride-off. And, we just take each day as it comes, and it's making sure that we stay on top of things. And especially for me, as his primary carer here in Melbourne, because most of his family is regional, we do have to take last-minute trips to hospital, and I say it like it's normal, because for me it is.
It's another reality.
He's like, I feel like crap. I need to go to hospital, and I'm like, get in the car or call the ambulance. And yeah, I guess you don't realize how not normal that is until other people are like, wow, like that's amazing. And you're like, oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. People highlight it a lot, I think. You get set in your reality of being careful about getting sick or being careful about who you socialise with, but there's always that drive to be like, oh, I've got the energy, let's go out and do something, and let's go be involved and socialise and have fun. But then you get out there and you're like, I do have to be careful, I have to draw back and remember that I'm still on treatment, I've still got to be careful of who I'm around. And people do realise it, like you have people come around to the house and realise how sort of cautious we are with things, and like the sort of jokes that we make, that people are like, what?
Yeah, like I'm
it
out
becomes
the
our
front.
reality, yeah.
Like I used to work in retail, and I'd come home from work, and he'd be out the front spraying me with Glen 20, and I'm like, woo, cleaning up,
Mask on,
and it's
gloves
just,
on, Glen 20.
for everyone else, they're like, what are they doing? And I'm like, I am clean. Make sure I don't bring anything home. It's, especially in retail, when things started flaring up again, it was really scary, because I'd go to work and I'd be like, oh, like people are just, we were open at Officeworks for hours, so it was like, you get everyone in there, people would not adhere to any of the rules, and I'm like, oh my God, imagine if I brought home something and he had to go to hospital because of me. Like, it's terrifying. because for me, like I'll get a cold that's a few weeks. I have a pretty good immune system. For him, he'll get a cold and it's a month. It's more than a month. It's endless almost.
It always sticks around. Like I've had congestion since I started my treatment, which I think I'm most excited for to get rid of after I stop my drugs. There's just this constant phlegminess and you just can't get rid of any bug, which I think all of that kind of stuff that Ash has said that you do have to be so cautious of, and it does become like this normal reality for everyone in the same sort of situation, no matter what your treatment, and everyone's got it different. But it is always that caution thing that people are very sort of set back on when they see how cautious you actually are about your treatment and what's coming around you and who's around you and what bugs you're dealing with. But yeah, I suppose meeting us meeting on games ties into the whole PAX situation I was going to touch on before. That was passed over briefly. That was our major. We met a few guys from PAX and GenerOZity at Fortress one night. We saw them post on Twitter, and Ash was like, "Oh, let's go." I was pretty tired that day. I just had a really high dose of chemo.
I don't feel like it. I'm like, we're going. We have to.
Yeah.
We gotta meet people.
So we saw them there, and we wanted to expand. And yeah, we got to meet Luke from PAX and Callan and Toby and everyone from GenerOz, and sort of just on that day threw around ideas of like, this is what I've been through, this was my story, what can we do with it, where can we go? We joined in with the 72-hour megathon stream for GenerOz, and that was our starting point. And from here on out, we just want to be involved in both families and spread the word, help whatever we can, whoever we can, wherever we can, really. Yeah.
Amazing.
Definitely.
I do want to come back to the trials, if we can speak more specifically about that. But first, I might just go to Connor, because he's sitting there very patiently. You've been, cure cancer 5+ years now, Connor, is that right?
6+.
6+, wow.
It's been, quite a while.
So I'm a youngster. I've only been there a year this past week. But for those who don't know, it might be great to just explain who Cure Cancer is, what we do specifically, and how we differ from other cancer research charities.
Yeah, sure. So Cure Cancer are a cancer research charity. It's in the name. We primarily fund early career cancer researchers. Now you might be asking yourself, what is early career? So we classify early career as anybody who is post-PhD up to 7 years into their career. They can apply to our grants, and then we will review them based on merit, and then allocate funding accordingly. So with our funding, we're not specific to a cancer type. It's purely if you are early career. So we get a lot of researchers come in who are researching a broad range of cancers. They submit their grants, and then we basically go down the list with the money that we have and fund as many researchers as we can, purely based on merit. And so what we see is that we get a broad range of researchers that we cover across all different cancer types that wouldn't get funded otherwise. Because if you are researching a rare cancer type, there is not often that pool of money available to research that particular cancer type. A lot of the major or common cancers receive a lot of money because they are so prevalent, and they are so exposed in the media and online. So for these researchers to come in and have the ability to seek funding from us is really, a big benefit of what we provide. We don't just provide the grant money, we also provide some mentoring as part of our program as well. So we have been around for 56 years now as a charity, and we've funded over 400 researchers. So we have researchers who we funded in the 80s who are now emerite professors in their field and are running cancer institutes. And they can trace back in their career when they were funded by us in the beginning and what that has meant for their career longevity. Because when we speak to these researchers, a lot of the time, if they don't receive that initial funding, they would have actually not been in research. Because if somebody doesn't back you early on and give you the grant or the opportunity to lead your own project, oftentimes, there's not that interest there and there's not the support there that they need to continue their research career. And so often, when we're speaking to these guys, we host an annual symposium for all of our researchers for that year and alumni, where they get together from across Australia and they exchange ideas. Often at that meeting, we hear from these researchers that without this funding, they would be either overseas or they would be outside of the sector. And it's also at these meetings where they exchange ideas with each other. And when you're an early career researcher, you're really keen and you have really bright ideas. Oftentimes, you're not as set in the researcher way of thinking or the specific way of thinking you approach it from like a fresh perspective with new ideas, and to receive the funding to pursue those ideas and to pursue an outcome that they think will change treatment options or change the course of cancer is great. And when you speak to these researchers, you might not really understand what they're saying because a lot of it is very technical, but you do just get that sense of enthusiasm and that passion for the work, which is really like good to see and really amazing to be a part of. And since I've been at the charity for 6 years, a rewarding factor for me is that I've met researchers in my first year who we have continued to fund through subsequent years. And each kind of year that I meet with them and we chat, I can see the progress that they're making in their professional career, in their research, in what they're getting out of their research, and then also in how they've developed as a researcher themselves. And you sit there and hear them present their research and their results back to you, and you think, wow, the funding and the money that we raise to go into these grants is actually funding new research, leading to better treatment options. And yeah, it's just great to see.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think I would love to speak to just the point you raised around how difficult it is to secure funding. I think the stat right now is that only 1 in 20 research grant applications in Australia will receive funding. So 19 in 20 of these applications from these researchers who have studied and studied and studied and want to pursue their ideas won't receive funding. And that, as Connor described, that's when they may leave the sector and this fresh idea which could provide a breakthrough across any type of cancer might not be explored. So it's just, absolutely incredible to see, what can be achieved by these bright new scientists. I'll come back to you, Buzz, as well. We were talking about a trial, which is like a world first. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So, start of my treatment, as I said, was the basic treatment for leukemia. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's basic term is vincristine, is the type of drug that I was on, which is the starting treatment for what my type of cancer was. They came to me, a group of the researchers from Peter MacCallum Cancer Centre, they came up to me into my room and they sat down, and it was a pretty hefty booklet that I had to read through with all the information, and I thought, wow, I'm going to be a genius after getting through this. All the terminology, all the different drugs, the timesheets and what my schedule was going to be, and that was very daunting because they weren't sure on how it would go. Like, I had the physical capability still sticking around a bit after my treatment of how I would be able to handle it. They were pretty confident, but in terms of how it would go long term, they weren't really sure. But I guess for me, the trial was an opportunity for helping others as well. Like, whatever way it went for me, it was still helping someone down the track, which was my benefit the whole way through it. That was my mindset of I'm still helping other people. That was I think everyone pointed out that I was so confident and positive throughout my whole treatment that underlying factor that no matter what I was doing, I was still helping someone, which was huge to keep me going. But the trial will lead globally, hopefully. It'll be a step into long-term treatment for leukemia. I was a pretty strong candidate, which was just, I guess, benefactory as well. Sort of right time, right place, wrong time, wrong place kind of thing, I guess. I've lost my mind of thought now. Just in terms of how it was going to help other people, it was a different group of drugs every sort of phase. I had different phases of the trial. The researchers, I think, still had something to do with you guys as well. There was a few different charities that they were sort of talking to and getting other researchers involved and sort of spreading the research around, which was really cool to see as well. My direct trials team were always in touch with me. I got their private mobile and was always just like, hey, I'm feeling like this, what should I do? Or they'd write it down on the research and just change things and change dosages, and I was always changing in my treatment no matter what it was, which is really cool to see as well, like where all the researchers come from, it helps everyone. Like, I saw quite a lot of different cancers in the ward and talked to a lot of people and was sort of socialising as much as I could and talk to people, and you always help someone else by talking, which is great. But seeing what research was behind them and where it comes from is amazing, because it just changes other people's lives, not just yours. And to see where mine has gone alone, like I was in remission within 3 months of being diagnosed, which was crazy. Like, no one expected the trial to go that well. No one expected really for me to deal with it as well as I did, and put up with it. Very strong doses of steroids. I put on quite a lot of weight, but in terms of how the treatment went and the cancer dissipated was ridiculous. I'm 0 as of December, I think, 2021, I was close to 0% in my bone marrow, which is the reproduction system for the leukemia. There was 0% in my blood. So the only reproductive cells that were there were in my bone marrow, and it just dissipated over time, I guess, with the trial, and they were absolutely blown away. They couldn't really give me I was cured until the trial was finished, because as I was the first trial patient, they have to complete the whole segment of the trial to be able to push the research to other patients. Upon me joining the trial, within months, there was tens of people that were on this trial as well, which was amazing to see just how quickly it helped others, which that was massive positive change for me,
That's huge, yeah. I want to now sort of pivot into, or actually just quickly, you noted a lot of like collaboration and like different researchers working together. I think that's one thing that Connor noted as well. Joining the team only a year ago now, I'm learning so much about research specifically here in Australia, and just how like we have amazing facilities here in Australia as well, and all these grant applications we receive aren't necessarily from Australian researchers. We're getting people come from overseas as well, so they're looking to receive funding and come to Australia and pursue their research and their ideas here in our facilities, which is just absolutely incredible. So that's awesome. I want to pivot now more into Game on Cancer, and Ash, I just want to ask you, just like you're a content creator as well, like what's it been like to support cancer research and via GenerOZity and whatnot amongst your community and via gaming?
It's been really cool. Definitely, I think that's the best way to put it. I've sort of been in the content creating cosplay field for about a year now, and especially with Buzz. And for me, mental health is a huge point that I always talk about as someone who struggled with it. And Buzz and I, we band together with our stories, and we just, at the end of the day, we just want to help people, and nothing can hold you back, essentially, and we just want to be able to show people that you can do what you want to do. And there's so many opportunities in the gaming world, and with charity and everything. Everyone's always looking for that funding. There's always new things coming out, and it's just amazing for us to be like, hey, look, we were a part of that 72-hour a-thon, and we got to be a part of $52,000 that were raised towards, and like, who gets to say that? It's just an amazing thing, and we brag about it because that's cool. That's amazing. Like, we're helping people, and that's what I always said when I started, like, my content creating. It just started, I was posting TikToks, I was bored in COVID, I was playing with makeup, I was like, whatever. And then suddenly I'm here, and I'm like, I can say that I'm assisting someone and we're inspiring someone. And I do have a lot of people who are like, you are, you're my role model and you're my comfort streamer. And that's what I want to be. I want to be someone's rock, essentially. And it's great now that Buzz, that we're together and we've got those experiences there behind us. And
It definitely adds an extra meaning behind the joy. Like, it becomes a hobby through your whole life. You grow up with games and you grow up around consoles and PCs, and there's always that joy and passion and hobby style of it, but then you've got this extra meaning behind such a passion, which is huge. Yeah. There's also the help of other people with what you enjoy doing. It's not just like a job or a hobby, it becomes a passion, which has also got meaning behind it, and it's huge, knowing our stories, knowing our stories and other people's stories and how you guys can help, how GenerOZ helps, how other charities help. There's always going to be another meaning behind what someone's doing for someone else. It's not just for you, which is the best part of it, I guess. Definitely.
I suppose now's a good time to talk more about Game on Cancer under Cure Cancer. It might be a fresh name for a lot of people watching online or here in the audience. So as Connor mentioned, the charity's been around for a really long time, and this team started a couple of years ago to dabble in what it might mean to fundraise in the gaming world. And it's by no means a new idea. There are some charities, particularly in the North American market, who've been doing it over a long time. People like Extra Life and St. Jude's, who started more than a decade ago. Extra Life are doing something like $10 million plus US a year just via the gaming world. So, I think everyone here at PAX understands just how amazing our community and our industry is, and just how generous this whole community is, and GenerOZity are a community, as a community, a testament to that as well, and so is the entire PAX community. So yeah, Cure Cancer started fundraising via gaming just a couple of years ago. It was working really, really well, growing really, really fast, and they decided we need to explore this more. And so that's when the team decided to put together a dedicated gaming team to come in, lend their expertise and grow the brand, and that's when we formally created the Game on Cancer sub-brand under Cure Cancer, and everything we do in the gaming field is under that brand. So it's stuff like this, working with GenerOZity and PAX to fundraise. We have amazing communities like Oz Speedruns, who are doing speedrunning out in the foyer right now, and they're fundraising for us as well. They broke their record earlier this year as well and raised just almost $25,000, which was incredible. And then part of my job is just trying to find ways to support them as well. So I got chatting to the guys at HyperX, and they came on board and donated prizes, and then also matched $5,000 in donations as well to try and help bolster their efforts. Like I mentioned, I come from the gaming background, so working at Ubisoft and publishers and that sort of thing, and so just trying to connect the dots as well. We have a fantastic relationship with the guys at Good Games, the tabletop retailer. On their website, you can donate at checkout, and we get so many people donating when they purchase their board games as well. And the list of partners that we have just goes on and on and on. So I just want to, thank the entire gaming industry for being so supportive of the idea. More than 10 million people globally will be diagnosed with cancer, and if you yourself haven't gone through it, then I'm sure you probably know someone, either family or friends, who have gone through it as well. So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But Connor, I just want to throw it to you as well, and just, are there any examples from the past few years, maybe even before my time, of just community members who have just done amazing things for cancer research via gaming?
There is, yeah. So I want to talk about a community streamer that we know and who's streaming for us right now, a guy called Descry, who's based out of Western Australia. Descry himself has had tumors through his personal life, and he wants to kind of give back and help raise money for cancer research. And last year, he started streaming for us in our Superhero Streamers event, which takes place April to May. And he raised, I think, about $2,000 to $3,000, and he said to himself, I can, build more of a community here and raise more funds. And so suddenly he was planning an Apex Legends tournament. And so completely by himself and with some support from the team, he contacted all of kind of the big streamers in Australia or in the space, contacted a few of the community groups around Apex Legends. Suddenly he had a tournament together, and the tournament raised 30,000, if not more, in about 8 hours. So it was just amazing to see his passion and his dedication towards helping other people. And often that's what it comes down to with a lot of our community streamers. They find out about the cause, they know their platform and know their community, and they try and help in the best way that they can, which is engaging with their community to raise money for a cause that they support. So Descry is a really good example of that. You guys are a really good example. GenerOZity is a really good example. Just trying to use your platform and spread the message and raise funds for cancer research. And it is really appreciated. When we talk to some of the researchers about how we're getting the funds in, and that it is community groups that are playing games online, they're often kind of like, whoa, that's like amazing. Why didn't we think of this? And how can we get involved? So it is really appreciated by us as the charity, but also by the researchers that we fund. And I think some of them also do watch some of the streams occasionally. So it's just really, really good. And yeah, shout out to Descry. He's fundraising for us over the next month, I think.
He is, 2 months. Yeah.
2 months, yeah.
Descry AU, I think, is his Twitch handle.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, thanks, Connor. And just speaking to the researchers and their sort of fascination with the space, we held our Researcher of the Year awards at Admiralty House in Sydney, and I was fortunate enough to meet the Governor General, and he asked what I do, and he was completely blown away. So to GenerOZity and everyone involved in the Game on Cancer community, the Governor General knows about us and what we do, which is pretty amazing. Cool. I suppose the only other thing I wanted to do is also just say thank you to GenerOZity and PAX giving us the time and the space as well, and the voice and the stage to amplify what we do. So far, we've raised more than $560,000 in the 2.5, 3 short years that we've been doing gaming. And I know, just based on how GenerOZity has been doing, how Oz Speedruns has been doing, Cookie Brigade are also going around doing cookies for us as well. We have a booth in the hallway. We've already raised $50,000 in the last day, so it's going absolutely nuts, and I can't thank you enough for your support. I suppose I might do some quick plugs as well. Actually, before I go, Ash, there's one question I want to ask you. If there are people in the gaming community who want to get involved and want to support, maybe they're creators, maybe they're not, what would you say to anyone who might have that hesitation?
Definitely just reach out. There's so many people that I know I did, and then as soon as Ash was around with me, it was just push for what you think you can do. I guess people sort of look at bigger streamers that are doing charities and realize that, whatever they do doesn't make a difference, but everything counts. Like, there's no limit on what you can do to help someone else. Just send an email, send a message, jump in Discord, whatever you want to do that you think is going to make a difference, just do it. Like, I think for us, it was the biggest example of, we just went to Fortress one night and met some awesome people, and now we're here and can make a difference for so many people. Help with fundraising and just stories and the mental side of it. There's so many different things that you can do, and all of it makes a difference. So yeah, definitely just reach out and do what you want to do to help. Yeah.
Yeah, every little bit counts. I think people get caught up in, seeing other people raising lots of money, but, if you add that 100, that 50, whatever, you get, it matters. It means a lot to someone, and it all adds up. And yeah, just ask. That's the biggest thing. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to anyone. If you see someone streaming on a charity and you're like, hey, that's cool, how can I be a part of it? Ask them. I promise you, they will let you know everything you need to do, and they will be more than happy to speak to you, because at the end of the day, we all just want to help someone, and if you want to be a part of it, great, get on board. We want to help you, get on board too. So yeah, every little bit counts, but just, don't be afraid to reach out, and don't get caught up in the numbers and stuff. Just think about, this is going to help someone. Every tiny bit is going to make a difference.
Yeah, and I really want to echo that. It's no word of a lie to say that every dollar counts, because even if you think you can only raise $100, then if there are 1,000 people who feel the same way, then that's $100,000, and that's enough to fund a researcher and their entire project for a year, which is incredible. So that in itself could lead to a breakthrough. We do have the opportunity for some questions, so while we get a mic sorted and on its way down, I might just do some quick plugs around what's happening at the show floor for us. Obviously, GenerOZity is in the Wombat Theatre for all 3 days and doing an amazing job fundraising. We also have Oz Speedruns out in the foyer. Their speedrunning community is fundraising for us as well, so please do check them out and say hello. We're in the hallway between the expo hall and the convention centre, just outside door 8 and 9 on your way into the board game area. We have some amazing prizes donated from the guys at Wargaming, Ubisoft, Good Games, Road, HyperX. Yeah, so please come along and say hello. If you wanted to talk or ask any more questions, then feel free to. Yeah, you can take some of our cards. The Cookie Brigade guys are going around as well, so please do say hello to them and thank them for their support. And also MCEC, the venue themselves, they've got tap to donate machines at a lot of their food and beverage venues, so I do want to say a big thank you to them. And also to PAX as well, like the PAX team. They've been incredible. You might have noticed when you buy tickets online that there's also a donate at checkout there as well. So that's been amazing for us too. So yeah, to the entire community, it's an absolute pleasure. Like I was there in Melbourne Showgrounds at PAX Aus 2013. I can still remember the mud. It was a dirty one. And I've been to every single PAX since. So it really is a pleasure to rock up here each year and just feel the love of the community. But if there are any questions, we do have a microphone here, so
I'll just touch on
please.
One thing more.
Oh, yes, Buzz.
Everything counts that we were just going through. I still stick to a story. On my birthday was my first dose of chemo. There was an old lady on the ward with me who was just amazing. She'd come out and sit on the couch with me and just run through her life story. And there was the day that I started my chemo, I wheeled out with my little trolley and my chemo bag and had little streamers and tassels on it. It doesn't even have to be the money side of it. Like, your talking and support to someone, no matter who they are, what they're doing, is massive. I still hold that story very highly regarded throughout my treatment. She just walked out with a cupcake that she got her husband to go and buy from the cafe on Peter Mac. Walked down with a little cupcake and a candle in it on my birthday. And those kind of things that they donated to the charities that I was, on my birthday, that I had on my Facebook. They donated to that. They've donated to GenerOz. Like, I see them every now and then pop up on my Facebook commenting on things. Like, they're the people that think they're not making a difference, but have made probably one of the biggest differences. Like, it's those kind of things and those stories that people in my situation, their own situations, hold very highly regarded in terms of everything counts. Like, I think paying it forward as well. Like, I try to do the best I can with returning the things that happened to me in my treatment, and that still plays along because people do it 3/4 of every time that someone does it to them, they'll do it to someone else, and that plays a massive role in it as well. And I know you guys do it as well with even just the prizes and stuff. People are like, oh, well, I'll do a giveaway, or there's always something that leads from someone else's benefit, which is just amazing from the charities.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. If anyone has any questions, we have a microphone here. Please don't be shy. We'd love to talk.
Good morning.
Hello, Cal.
Hi. Not a question, but some donations that have come through this
Oh,
morning.
please, yes.
Jono donated $50. Hey DW has donated $50. Freezer Hikaru has donated $50. C1ERN has donated $50. Calcam donated $100 early this morning. Cam Ralph donated $100 early this morning. And someone by the name of Tim donated $1,000 this morning.
Wow.
So thank you to all those people. And we've passed 16.5 now as well. So
Amazing.
going great guns. So thank you all so much that has donated so far.
That's incredible. And yeah, can I just highlight as well, like Cal and the entire GenerOZity team, I'm not even sure where the count is now, but over the last 3 years, they've raised more than $150,000 for cancer research. So can we just give a big round of applause to GenerOZity and their entire community? They all do it just for the love of it, and it's absolutely amazing. It blows me away. Did anyone else have any questions? Oh yeah, we got one here.
Are you guys at Supernova in Brisbane later on in the year?
I don't think we have plans to at the moment, but we would love to be there. So yeah, we'll have to chat to the Supernova guys. When is Supernova Brisbane?
November 5th and 6th, I think.
Okay, it might be a bit late for us this year, but yeah, I'll.
If you do end up making your way there or to one of the Gold Coast ones, I'm a pastry chef and I make cakes and cupcakes and whatnot.
That's reason enough to go.
If you could reach out to me, I'd love to do some cupcakes for you guys on one of those days, so you can, because I can do edible printing and everything, so I can put the logos and everything on the cupcakes for you guys to sell and whatnot.
Oh, thank you so much. That'd be amazing. Let's chat after this, for sure. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
The best kind of question. One at the back.
Hey guys, thanks for what you do. The question was, like, you guys got any like big events or anything planned? Anything gaming related? Yes, besides this, of course, because this is the big one. But
Right,
like
Game on Cancer specifically?
Yeah, anything that's happening soon.
Yeah.
I'd love to just like join in or be a part of something.
Happy to plug everything that we have going on.
Yeah.
So we have a fundraising campaign kicking off November 15 to December 15 called Holiday Spectacular. We started this last year, and we invite content creators of all kinds to sign up and fundraise in their community. We did $47,000 last year, and we're hoping to grow that and hopefully be able to fund a researcher for an entire year. So yeah, if you're a streamer, cosplayer, content creator of any kind, you can head to our website. It's gameoncancer.com.au and sign up that way. Connor mentioned we have our other sort of annual event is Superhero Streamers in April to May, and that's a similar thing where we encourage people to sign up and form like a superhero squad of streamers and fundraise as a team. And that did amazingly for us this year as well, almost $50,000. So you can find us also at a lot of smaller events. So we have partnerships with the guys at AvCon in Adelaide, and we hope to be at CanCon next year as well. So yeah, I would say keep an eye on our socials. It's GameOn_Cancer, Twitter and Instagram, and all the links are on our website as well. Yeah, we want to do more events. So if there are any that you want to see us at, please let us know, and yeah, we'll try and make it happen.
Yeah.
Did I miss any, Connor?
Sorry?
Did I miss any events?
You missed one.
Oh no.
So we host community nights on our Discord as well. So if you want to get involved with that and jump in, play some games, have a good time, come on in, join the Discord. Also available on the website. And yeah, love to have you in the community and you know, supporting cancer research and having a good time as well.
Yeah, we have a Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/GameOnCancer, and we'll jump on there and play some games with the community. So yeah, please join us. Any other questions? I think, oh, another one.
Or like, is there any sort of space that you think you haven't really hit yet that you kind of want to, like a part of gaming that you think you just haven't really quite got a hold of yet?
So many, so many.
Any specific example then, or?
I'm just trying to think of what I can say. I'll just say like general ambitions. Like I mentioned earlier, like I come from the gaming industry, so I worked at Ubisoft. I was the esports and brand manager on something like Rainbow Six Siege. So I got to go to all these, you know, majors and the Invitational over in Montreal and just see like amazing communities like PAX just around Rainbow Six come together, 2,000, 3,000 people in a stadium and celebrate what they love as well. So yeah, my ambition is to grow Game on Cancer to be doing a lot more, and that can be, yeah, via all these different types of communities. The tabletop community as well, like we have a partnership with Good Games, but I'm less familiar with that, so I definitely want to grow our organisation into that space also. And then the big ticket item, I'm just going to put it out there and try and manifest it, is an in-game item. You know, we've seen some amazing work being done with things like Overwatch and Breast Cancer Foundation over in the States. I know Movember and Rust did something together as well. So yes, I am chasing as many industry contacts as I can to try and get a Game on Cancer skin into a game one day. And we know that can do amazing stuff. You know, if we can get $1 million from something like that, then that's 10 researchers funded for a year, which would just be absolutely amazing. So yes, I'm very ambitious to grow this into something even bigger. So hopefully we can be here next year, and yeah, I can tell you all about the success we've had.
I will touch on that too. There are so many, even just the ESL teams, that for every game that are always looking for more donations, that would love to grow to different charities. Like there's so many people that I played for an old ESL Rainbow team and Call of Duty. Like they're always looking for someone to sponsor. So it'd be cool to just reach out and get into like teams for different games. I know like my old team for Call of Duty would love to just jump on board. And if we play this year for Modern Warfare 2 or whatever happens with Rainbow. But no, definitely, I'd love to get a pro team and just plug it everywhere, because that'd be amazing. Wherever you play, wherever you're playing, whenever you're playing, just have that sponsorship behind you is just cool to have, and charities always gaining from it, which would be really cool just to branch out into the pro teams, and it'd be cool.
I won't spoil anything, but we do have some esports partners coming on board for the Holiday Spectacular, so yeah, keep an eye on that. Definitely. Any other questions? I think we're good. Awesome. I just want to say a huge thank you again to GenerOZity and PAX specifically. Like, to be here 3 years since the last one and just see the entire community locally here together and the industry come out and support this amazing event is incredible. And yeah, the work that GenerOZity does, you know, throughout the entire year, it's not just at PAX, but at their main events scattered throughout. It's incredible. Like, it's a community I wasn't really familiar with before I joined Cure Cancer, but it really blows me away the generosity that the community actually has, and it's just growing and growing and growing. So I suppose just to end, unless anyone has any final comments.
I'll just touch on that too, just how quickly that we got involved and how quickly you can make a change. We met them probably, 5 months ago at Fortress, not even 4 months ago at Fortress, and a month later we were in the stream with them. So it shows how quickly and how awesome the community is to get involved so quickly. A massive shout out to PAX and all the GenerOZ crew for how welcoming they've been and just become a family. You guys as well, just you instantly become this clique in a community, and you can help so many people and just get so involved and engrossed in the community and what it does and who they are. Like this at PAX, we just grew in how many amount of months to this, sitting on a panel talking about it, and yeah, massive opportunities, which is really cool, definitely.
Any closing comments, Connor? All good for you?
No, just huge shout out to GenerOZity. Thanks for putting on the event again. And yeah, your efforts are much appreciated. So thank you.
Nice. And I suppose the last thing from me is that, you know, I think we all understand the power of gaming, and I have no question, there's no question in my mind that, you know, 5, 6, 10 years from now, that amazing cancer research is going to be done and breakthroughs will be achieved because of the efforts of people in this room and online today and for the next few years. So yes, thank you so much again, and please come and say hello on the booth. thank you so much for listening.